Edgar Wright and Glenn Powell? Yeah, I wasn't missing this one. Hi everybody, Anthony here from Awesome Anthony Productions, and today I'm going to give you my review of the latest adaptation of Richard Bachman's, Stephen King's novel, The Running Man. But before we get started, please leave a like, and at the end of the review, if you think I've earned it, please subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I post. Now on to the review. Set in a dystopian future, The Running Man stars Glenn Powell as Ben Richards, a down-on-his-luck guy with both a tendency towards angry outbursts and a penchant towards helping people even when it bites him in the ass. But the network, the mega corporation that runs the US, led by Josh Brolin's Dan Killian, runs everything from the media to the government. And guys like Richards, free thinkers, people with morals, anyone who asks questions, aren't exactly welcome. They blacklist him from every job he can get, and to make things worse, his daughter is sick, really putting him in a desperate spot. So, trying to give his wife and daughter a better life, he signs up for The Running Man, a televised death game where contestants have 30 days to survive and win $1 billion. The catch? Literally the entire country is encouraged to either turn you in or kill you, while the network sends out a team of hunters led by Lee Pace's McCone to hunt you down for sport. Will Richards make it 30 days, or is this all for nothing?
I'm still here, you shit eaters.
Full disclosure before I start the review, I have never read this book or seen the original Schwarzenegger movie, so I went into this completely pure with no preconceptions or nostalgia goggles. And honestly, while it's not perfect, I like this movie a lot. To start, Edgar Wright's direction is a highlight all on its own. It's not as hyper-stylized or kinetic as something like Scott Pilgrim or Hot Fuzz, but you can feel his signature touch all over this thing, with clever transitions, sharp editing, smart visual gags, and action scenes that are so well choreographed, whether we're talking firefights, hand-to-hand combat, or a few impressive car chase sequences. It also gets pretty violent at times without ever really veering into gory territory, well, except for one scene involving an eye that had the whole theater squirming, including me. I can handle a lot of blood and gore, but when it deals with the eyes or the nails, I'm out. Now let's talk about the star here, Glenn Powell, because he's easily the best part of the movie.
Stop filming me!
I already love this guy between Top Gun Maverick, Twisters, Hitman, and even Spy Kids 3D. And he still continues to show just how charismatic of a leading man he is. As Ben Richards, he nails the balance between this angry, frustrated, fed-up dude and someone who is fundamentally good, sympathetic, and worth rooting for.
I'm not trying to get myself killed, so kiss my ass twice.
Right there is why you can win this game.
He starts the movie already angry, but Powell has so much humanity in this role, you never really dislike him for it. And once The Running Man starts, the movie wisely has Richards actually think his way out of a lot of situations instead of just punching his way through, which goes a long way to make him more human and realistic. I call it the John McClane effect.
I know what a TV dinner feels like.
It's also extremely easy to sympathize with him because of how awful this dystopian world is. It's not like some crazy Blade Runner neon-soaked sci-fi world. No, it's scarily grounded, gritty, and way too plausible for comfort, and that makes everything hit even harder. Richards also ends up being the face of a revolution, but I'll get to that later. Continuing with the cast, I know this will be a shocker, but Josh Brolin's fantastic here. As Dan Killian, he plays this manipulative, smooth-talking corporate snake who lures Richards in with promises of safety for his family and tons of money while hiding the real truth behind his charming smile. He's charismatic, slimy, and exactly the kind of villain that you love to hate, though I do wish that he had a stronger presence in the film overall. We also get Coleman Domingo as Bobby T, the host of The Running Man show.
Welcome to The Running Man.
And even though his character has about as much depth as a puddle that you find on the street, Domingo absolutely devours every second he's on screen. He's theatrical, magnetic, and over the top in the best way. Then there's Lee Pace as McCone, the lead hunter who, although he also doesn't appear as much as I expected, every time he shows up he just commands the screen.
I got a grenade!
Back at you.
He's actually masked the whole time and completely relies on his voice and body language to radiate intimidation, and it works so well. On the side of the revolutionaries, Daniel Ezra's Bradley is a standout, forming an instant bond with Richards that feels so natural. Even though they just met each other, it feels like these characters have known each other for years. William H. Macy shows up as Richards' friend Molly, even if, again, he only has a couple minutes of screen time. And then there's Michael Cera as Elton. And my wife and I just adore this character. He's still soft-spoken, awkward, Michael Cera-ish, but the way he channels his deep conspiracy theorist energy while also being genuinely passionate about overthrowing the network is actually perfect. There's a scene that feels like an R-rated version of Home Alone with him defending his house that is just insanely fun to watch. It had us both laughing out loud. Now let's get into the story, because this is where I actually had a few issues. The opening act does a great job setting up this dystopian world and why Richards feels like he needs to get on the show. And once the Running Man competition officially begins, things actually ramp up pretty fast. Like there's an early action sequence in a hotel that Richards hides in that's easily one of the best parts of the movie. But once we get towards the revolution subplot and that kicks in, it does start to muddy things a little bit. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. Its themes about distrusting the media and the wealthy elite definitely ring true, especially in today's climate, and the whole eat the rich thing actually feels like it's genuinely handled with sincerity for once. But it does take a lot of the focus away from Richards and kind of makes him feel like a pawn in someone else's story instead of the hero of his. Thankfully, the movie eventually steers back towards him, especially during an intense, gritty action climax that blends emotional payoff with some well-earned brutality. But then we get to the ending. And this might be my biggest problem with the movie. It hits emotionally, the action climax lands, the final moments are satisfying, but the pacing leading into it is so rough. Things are ramping up, we're about to get this big emotional payoff, and then the movie actually slams the brakes, completely stops, and dumps a ton of exposition before actually letting the ending happen. And it absolutely kills the momentum for about 2 minutes. This actually reflects the biggest issue that the movie has. The pacing can kind of be all over the place, especially in the last 20 minutes. But overall, even with those complaints, this is still a very solid action thriller. It's got a great soundtrack, strong performances across the board, especially from Glenn Powell, a good amount of Edgar Wright's special style, even though I wish there was more, sharp humor, emotional beats that actually land, great world building, impressive action, and a compelling, sympathetic protagonist. Even with the pacing issues, rushing through some characters, and an ending that stumbles hard before sticking the landing, I still had a really good time with this one. And that's my review of The Running Man. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this review, you know exactly what to do. Please leave a like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon to be notified whenever I post. While you're at it, you can scroll down to the comments, let me know if you saw this movie and what you thought. And if you want more of my content, you can click or tap on these cards right here. They'll take you to my review of Predator Badlands, or just over to my channel where you can check out the rest of my reviews. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you next time for my review of Keeper.